Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Yang, and we're going to talk about making fiction into reality. All right, let's talk about this. All right, so when I first came to Andrew Yang as a fan, I was really a fan of Andrew Yang, and I was not a super fan of UBI. I've really come around on UBI. I really think the configuration that Yang has set for UBI is really ideal. So I realize there's a ton of thought behind it, and almost all the boogeymen that people connect to UBI is wrong, and so I understand this just having learned more about UBI following Yang. But what I want to talk about today is really a reflection that we're seeing in our culture and our society that I think is reflecting the future. It's a now event that's reflecting our future that we will see under Andrew Yang starting on January 20th, 2021, when he sits down in the Oval Office for the first time and he becomes our president, and the transformation of our nation into a brighter and better nation happens, right? And I heard about this event, and I really just want to share it with you because I really think, this is the light from the future reflecting off a current event and really showing us what UBI can accomplish and what it will do for our country. All right, so what am I talking about? What is this event? Well, this event is the remodeling of the Brady Bunch house. The Brady Bunch house is, it has a specific address. It's 11222 Dilling Street in Studio City, California, right? And last year, in the year 2018, this house went up for sale. Specifically, the Brady Bunch house went up for sale. Now, it was not purchased by an individual owner. It was purchased by HGTV, the channel. They purchased it for $3.5 million, right? Now, the way I found out about this was Stephen Colbert, fantastic performer. I really like Stephen Colbert's stuff. Super funny, he's super smart. He's also a fan of Slate, Slate Political Gabfest, which is like about my favorite content in the world. And so basically, but Stephen Colbert had the whole Brady Bunch on, all the Brady Bunch people, everybody but the mom and dad pretty much, because they've passed on. Rest in peace. But all the kids were there, right? Marcia and Bobby and, all the kids, right? And they were talking about how HD television purchased the house, and HD television did something pretty amazing. They turned fiction into reality. Now, how'd they do that? All right, so let's talk about this. So the Brady Bunch, just in case there's some millennials listening to this, was an iconic show from the 1970s. And it was about a stereotypical American family of the time. It was a presentation of a stereotypical American family. It was kind of almost a Leave It to Beaver. It was more advanced than Leave It to Beaver, but it had its problems. But it's a part of American society. It's an element of Americana, right? And basically, it was a family, right? And it had some progressive elements in it. It could have been more progressive, but it definitely had some progressive elements in it. All right, so anyway, the Brady Bunch, they had this house, right? And when you would see the house on the television show, they would show you an exterior shot. They would show you the house, right? And every time you would see the house, you would go, okay, we're at the house now for this next scene, right? And then they would show you the interior of the house, right? And they would show the Brady Bunch come down this iconic staircase. They had all this super dope 1970s furniture. It was cool. It was pretty neat, right? And it really felt like a lived-in home, and it felt like a real family too, right? I watched the reruns of the Brady Bunch when I was I think I watched it. I think I was old enough to watch it when it was coming out live, but it was a favorite. I really liked it, right? And but the house felt very real, right? But the reality is the house is a fiction, okay? The picture of the Brady Bunch house, the exterior, that was real. The interior of the house was a real set, right? So the exterior was a real house, the interior was a real set, but there was a disconnect. There was a falseness. There was a mismatched reality, right? The reality did not match. The reality did not match the image, right? The interior of the exterior home they showed us was completely different, right? And the exterior to the set was completely different, right? So it was a mismatched reality, right? And now here's the exciting thing. Right now, right, HG Television is spending millions of dollars to renovate the Brady Bunch house to match, so that the interior perfectly matches the set, so that the fiction becomes reality, right? And this is pretty incredible. This is exciting, right? It's a time where an American corporation is taking great wealth that they've amassed and using it to turn fiction into reality. What's that got to do with Andrew Yang, right? Well, it's got a lot to do with Andrew Yang, and it's got a lot to do with us as Andrew Yang supporters, right? And here's what it's got to do with. We are about to do the same thing for America. We're about to take the fiction and turn it into reality, right? So where is the mismatched reality in America? Well, we present this image, right? We present an image of heritage harmony, right? We present an image that people who have different ancestry in America, people who have different heritage in America, people who have different lineages in America, that they get along together, and that there's harmony across those lineages, those heritages, and that ancestry, right? There isn't, right? Like, there's a lot of tension, right? There's a lot of heritage disharmony, right? And it's distressing, and it's really a huge problem in America. It's an echo from the 1619 problem, right? The 1619 Project is detailing that right now, an incredible project. And so we have this issue, right? The other thing, what about wealth and opportunity, right? We present this issue that everybody in America is equal, and that we all have the same access to wealth and opportunity. But we don't, right? Like, it's very clear that if you have one attribute or two attributes or three specific attributes, you're going to have a much higher chance in America of getting what you want, right? Of getting wealth and opportunity. And the distance you're going to have to travel to get your wealth and your opportunity might be a quarter or even a tenth of what somebody with other attributes would have, right? What about education and access, right? Do all kids in America get the same access to education? Absolutely not, right? There's really different circumstances for some kids. Some kids have it great. They got smart boards and bento boxes for lunch, and other kids, they have tattered, 10-year-old textbooks, and they're going to be eating, frozen pizza, right? It's not the same, right? What about access, right? What about the networks, the communities that are ongoing concerns within America? Does everybody have the same access to those to be important and contributing members in those different communities, right? Arts and all those kind of things, right? Do we all have the same access? Do we have the same education? The reality is no, we absolutely do not. We present this image in America, but we present an image, but the reality is different, right? We're saying to the world, we got this on lock, we're doing great, but the reality is we have major problems. There's disconnects within America, and the interior does not match the exterior, right? There's a set, and there's a picture, there's an external picture, and then there's a set. There's not one cohesive house that everybody's living in, right? It's a manufactured reality, right? However, Andrew Yang is about to become the Home and Gardens Television, the HGTV of America. And the reason why is UBI is going to really remodel America so that the image actually reflects the reality, right? When every single adult American is getting $1,000 a month, right? Their ability to grasp to get more from their education is going to be significant. Heritage harmony, right? Are we going to get heritage harmony from everybody just having a little bit more money? Yes, we absolutely will. Here's why, right? Poverty causes strife. It causes strain. It causes conflict. Conflict for the people who are suffering with poverty, and they act out toward their own families, toward their own friends, and certainly they act out toward people who are in a position where those external people are making their lives difficult, right? And in addition to that, basically, so if those people have less strain and less, those people who are victims of heritage disharmony, right? If they have less strain just from the daily grind of making it and putting food on the table and making sure their kids have, clothes. And actually, you know what? I really don't think in America everybody's got clothes, and frankly, everybody's got food, right? But the reality is, what if you can buy your kids the sneakers they want? Right? What if you can buy fruits and vegetables, not just, dollar store snacks? All those kind of things makes you have less strife. And so you can have a smile for people who are, so when you come out during the day, you're going to be a little bit happier, right? And then the people who have caused this heritage disharmony, right? I'm not sure $1,000 a month for them is going to help that much, but there are people, right, who are participating in heritage harmony, right, and making it so that people who are different ancestries, different lineages, and different heritages, that they are in harmony. They have $1,000 a month that they don't need, that they can bring to the problem, right? And they can help people who they see are hurting in their own communities, right? Right now, we're looking for the government to help, these situations and to give out funds and help people. But the reality is, we as American citizens, if every American citizen has $1,000, we are being equipped to help each other in really powerful ways, in ways that really will make the fiction we have been presenting, that external picture that we've been putting up, match the real interior. We can make the presented set a reality within the actual exterior house, right? We can make the fiction the reality. That's incredible, right? So, better access, with $1,000 a month, every adult American has more opportunities has more opportunity, right? If they want to be an artist, if they want to write poetry, right? If they want, if they want to, design, starship parts, right? So that we can be a starfaring race, right? So that we can be so that humanity can be starfaring, right? So that Americans can be a starfaring nation. They can do that, and they can bring money to that issue, right? And everyone has less strain and less struggle. And I think everybody in America with $1,000 a month more has just one more smile for the person to their left, the person to their right, and the person in front of them, right? Forward. It's really exciting, the access issue. We talked about these different communities. I'm really big into tabletop role-playing game, and there are tabletop role-playing game communities, right? And there are groups that have locations where they have tables set out, and they even have like a collection of tabletop role-playing games, and they can bring in people who don't have resources and say, why not try playing these complex and actually cash-intensive games with us? Give it a shot. We have the materials here. And so access to communities and being able to do more in the communities we're connected with. Everyone has this access to money, right? So education, access, opportunity, right? If people want to become, if they want to become YouTube stars, or if they want to go to Hollywood, or if they want to join the media era, that's incredibly difficult right now, right? And just having a little bit of a backstop, a little bit of a safety net helps, right? But the other thing is, so you have that opportunity and wealth. Quite literally, everybody will have more wealth and that's an incredible thing. I think, and again, that goes to quality of life, right? Can you buy fruits and vegetables rather than buying dollar store snacks? It's a big difference, right? It's going to help with heritage harmony. It's going to help with wealth. It's going to help with opportunity. It's going to help with access. It's going to help with education. And these are all very, very fundamental, foundational changes, right? Each one of those 5 subjects I just talked about has 1,000 tiny little barbs that make our lives more difficult. And that fiction that was before, right, where we were presenting an image, but the reality was different. Under Yang, right, Yang will remodel America so that the fiction becomes the reality. The exterior of the building will actually have the real interior, right? Just like HGTV is remodeling the Brady Bunch and the Brady Bunch house. And, think about it. Like, that's an icon of American living in the 70s. And, wealth is helping to turn the fiction into the reality. We're seeing that quite literally this can be done, right? It is the light from the future reflecting off of a current event and saying, we can do this. We can make the fiction a reality, right? And that is why I believe in Andrew Yang. He saw this 5-10 years ago, and he was writing books about systems that would allow us to turn the fiction into reality. He was way ahead of his time, and right now he's ahead of every other candidate, right? Not in the polls, but in heart, in wisdom, in kindness, right? And certainly in the passion of his followers to pave the way, brick by brick, to the White House. Yang is going to the White House. We are going to take this nation, and exactly like the Brady Bunch house is being remodeled today by HGTV, Yang is going to remodel this nation, right? And the fiction will match, and we're going to turn fiction into reality. I'm very, very excited about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the subject. Do you think we are seeing the light of the future reflecting off of a current event? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.